that's a killer track from the Offenders' new album, and actually most of the tracks on that record are that hot. And so how long have you guys been around in Austin, Texas there to get such a sound together?
About 4 years. We've been playing, me, Pat, and Tony. That is, we've had JJ in the band, our singer, for about the last 2 years now. Exactly 2 years. We played New Year's Eve was our first show 2 years ago.
Ah, well, Mikey used to be in the Stains, which later became MDC, right?
Yeah, I played in both bands at the same time, and came out here one time with them about 3 years ago, I guess. Seems like a while back.
Long. Not long ago.
Yeah. Anyway, so and what is the state of affairs in Austin? Are there any clubs to play at these days, or?
No, there sure
barely.
isn't.
It's like nightlife. Nightlife was Club Foot, and it closed down recently, and there's nothing really opening back up. Everything closes down real fast. Nightlife can be rented out, but it's like there's no clubs, so it's like not helping out much at all. And same with the rest of things in Texas. We're kind of slow. There are still a lot of good bands up there breaking out, like the Jeffersons and Not For Sale, Blitzhacker. A lot of new bands that have popped up recently, but there's nowhere to play except for people's backyards and stuff.
Parties, yeah.
It's been pretty much the same way for a long time there.
Unless you get a big show, then you can get a Ritz or something.
We just had a Discharge in Austin at the Ritz.
Oh yeah.
It was quite a show.
So anyway, that doesn't seem to inhibit bands from practicing hard and getting good.
No, the bands are always practicing.
Yeah.
Well, like Austin is a real musical town too. There's a lot of musicians that don't have work to do, like a lot of small gigs and stuff like that. It's kind of a lot of real tightly woven scene.
But if there was a permanent place to play in Austin, I feel that there would be a lot more bands too.
Yeah. I'm sure that's true. That couldn't hurt. Now tell me about your songs here. First of all, there's an incredible amount of energy in your music there, and what is it that you're trying to put across, both in your music and in your lyrics and stuff? Is there take it away?
Yeah, well, we basically just like to have fun playing rock type music, punk, hardcore, fast and loud. And the lyrics, I feel anyway, I've written a couple of songs, and I feel like if you're getting across to people and you sound good enough, that you might as well, try to make them think a little more, provoke a little more thought.
Right.
Do you feel that? Is there any evidence that is accomplishable?
That's hard to say.
You gotta put out a positive level instead of, it has to be real positive, rebellion instead of, real
self-destructive.
Yeah, destructive. It has to be positive, mentally. You have to think about it and know what you're gonna do before you can do it, and know the different ways to change things and how to, It's kind of hard to explain because nobody, there's not really no answer to that.
Well, okay, but in that first song, for instance, you're calling for a rebellion.
Yeah, we must. Well, it's kind of saying, we must rebel against the Klan and the cops, and how they're both, within the same kind of level, and they're we need to rebel against their rebellious state. They're in a destructive, rebellious thing. They want to kill all the black people. We'd rather everybody should be not exactly the same, but everybody should be treated equal, as human beings instead of blacks and Jews and Mexicans and whites. It should be people are people.
Well, yeah.
That doesn't necessarily mean we must rebel, go out and start, shooting everybody in sight either.
Right. Yeah.
Basically, we don't mean, actually not that big of a generalization about all cops and all blacks and stuff like that. Just the whole attitude, the redneck attitude of...
Well, it's obviously something that people in Texas are fairly aware of, since a lot of Texas bands harp on these themes. A lot of other people around the country think, oh, you guys are just going off the deep end or something. But it must be something...
It really is, man.
That's very blatant down there?
They marched, and the cops marched, and it was real... like lots of people threw rocks and stuff at him.
Yeah, and
they
they
beat up some of the
But it's just
Brown berets.
brown berets. Yeah.
yeah, there's a lot of cops in small areas of Texas that the cops they don't follow straight laws. They kind of like start their own, like forget the guy's name, but with the water torture treatment they were doing, just to torturing people.
Humpy Parker.
And Humpy Parker, and just different things that Houston cops, pulling over people on the highway, and while searching them, plant something, and just to have something to do. They like to pull people over. They won't
Get 'em
give
for communist, stuff.
They give you public intoxication, for they don't have to give you a breath test, so they can take you downtown. They just like to harass a lot down there.
I see.
Not that it's any different anywhere else,
Right.
but it seems to me that the general population seems to accept it more. Down there it's really suburban, just about everywhere. Like us three grew up in an army town of about 40,000 people.
You all Army brats?
Fort Hood, if you're, and it's like you're sheltered from all, unless you're okay unless you start to get out of line or something, and then you railroaded. Basically, my brother was, just I wouldn't want to go into that, but.
Right. All right, so tell me something about some of the other songs. What are some other, pet peeves or whatever you want to call them?
A lot of the overtones, this generalization of them are just, have to do with us being Army brats. So there's not real anti-military. Just, well, yeah, in a lot of ways it is, and just there's a lot of military overtones, and it just comes, I guess, from us being Army brats, and so it comes across
military environment.
And being, like a lot of my friends, just growing up just like their dads, because you're in such a boring place, and that you just fall in a rut and you just follow your daddy's footsteps, and it's just, it's just so silly.
There are a lot of. It seems like there are a lot of young kids, even punks, who are going in the military now.
Nothing else.
Have you noticed that in Austin? Are there punks going into the military?
No, not in Austin.
No, but I've seen a lot of GIs and stuff come out to the shows, even from Killeen. There are people that buy our album in our hometown, which is amazing because nobody likes us there.
We can't even play there. No way.
So they're filtering into it now. I've read a lot of letters in Maximum Rocknroll from people that are in the Army and telling how much how bad it is and everything.
It's a set job you'll have for the next 6 years. So they all,
Yeah.
if you're in a real poor state, and a lot of people use it to to get out of somewhere bad and make some money, at least keep themselves surviving, and Army, I don't like it, but it does provide for you. This is not an Army ad either. I'm not recruiting.
It provides something.
Also, I guess it's the same with everybody. We just, if everybody thought more about what happened in the world rather than just go on with their daily routine, things might be better anyway. There's more of a chance.
Yes.
That way, I think.
Well, there's
no matter what government or whatever idea it is, if everybody gets together on it, it'll be better. Anything will be better than the way it is.
That was couldn't be worse.
Exactly.
And we didn't start out in Austin, Texas either. We started out in Killeen, Texas.
Well, where is Killeen specifically?
60 miles north of Austin, Texas.
It's a growth on the side of a military base.
The largest military installation.
A fungus growth.
Bad place.
We are forewarned. All right, I think we're going to play something now off the album, and this one is what?
It's called Youth Riot.
Youth Riot. Okay.